also building from what John wanted, of course.
Looking at it, the Shehu Diko is new.
Yeah.
There's a new director general there, and now there will be a new permanent secretary as well, meaning that it looks like everyone in charge of sports right now, they are all new.
I think for me, yes. Probably if we take a look at that, there will be fresh ideas, as it stands. Fresh ideas will come into the table, and we'll look forward to see, of course, how we can continue from where maybe the former, administration, of course, stop at this point in time. Because one thing that we've always lacked and that has also brought decline to sport development is continuity. There have been lack of continuity when it has to do with sport development, and that's why we've seen a little bit of decline, in sports down there. So if Shehu Diko and the rest of the men, of course, down there will be able to build on what we've already have, I think that will also help us.
Let's stay away from the National Sports Commission and their ideas towards developing sports at the grassroots level here in Nigeria, and now going to boxing. Kingsley, something interesting is brewing up. Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury are back in the news. We saw what looks like.
So it was a very, very a huge one, and everyone was like, what's going to happen? But thank God, of course, the organizers were able to come in and weigh in and was able to separate, them. I think it's going to be a very tough one this weekend, because from what it says, Tyson Fury, as it stands, do not want to lose again, to Alexander Usyk at this point in time. So from what we've seen, it's going to be a very, very tight one, because if you take a look at Tyson Fury's career, the man has only lost once, and he only lost to Alexander Usyk, and wouldn't want that to happen again. For Usyk, 22 bouts since he actually made that move to the heavyweights, the man has not lost any, and I don't think he's ready, to lose at this point in time. So for me, it's going to be a very, very stiff one at this point in time, and I fear for Tyson Fury, because when you take a look at how prepared Alexander Usyk is, you definitely, of course, want to give him this one. And don't forget, he's a southpaw. That southpaw technique, his ability, of course, to be able to move with his legs and his hand on the ring is something very, very dangerous. And I think Fury should be wary at this point. He should come up with his A game, not what we saw in the last bout or else.
And Saudi Arabia will be the venue of this fight this weekend, and boxers around the world are keeping an eye on everything that happens between now and the man that has brought you into the ring, and so you can afford to give you 30% of what he's in.
And of course, Usyk is the man of the moment. So you take a look at how far he has gone. You saw what he did to Anthony Joshua, beating Joshua black and blue, back-to-back defeats down there. Came down to Tyson Fury, knocked him down, of course, in the first bout. And this is the second one, and the man is looking very much optimistic of getting it done, once again. So for me, I think if you take a look at it, Usyk deserves this huge amount.
Of the show with one more story, and this is coming from Formula One. Valtteri Bottas, remember him? One man that has been into it before. Talking about Formula One, returning now to Mercedes as a reserve driver. Kingsley, is this a good choice by Mercedes?
For me, I would say it's a good choice. It's a good choice.
Because he has driven their car before?
Yeah. And it's coming like as a reserve driver. We have a certain Anthony who is going to be a second driver, of course, in that particular one, and the absence of Lewis Hamilton. But I think from what we're seeing, Valtteri Bottas might just come in. Was the second driver to Lewis Hamilton as well.
Right.
Yeah, at that time. And of course, we saw that combination. Was a very good combination between both drivers. They were very helpful to each other. And that's how we saw that little bit of progress, of course, for Valtteri Bottas. But coming in at this point in time, I think it will be another phase, for Valtteri Bottas, another, moment for him. Like I mentioned, he has the experience, he's been with this side, for some time. So I think bringing him as a reserve driver will help Mercedes, of course, come at next season.
Well, that will be our point of, let's say, temporary halt. We will return back in a jiffy. And when we do return, we'll go to tennis and then football. Interesting fixtures in the EPL Cup and the Carabao Cup, so to say. And this weekend promises to be more fireworks across Europe and in Nigeria as well. Premier League action returns for the festive period. When we return for a break, we'll give you details. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. Very Grand Slam of the year, which comes up later in January.
I think that should be the focus for the man after having an impressive, season in 2024. He was able, of course, to win the Stuttgart Open and as well the Vernard Cup as well. Finished the year being ranked at number 15. For me, I think it's a good one, a good season if you ask me for Jack Draper, the British #1 player. I think the focus should be for him to prepare and taking a look at that injury. He has to take a rest, to make sure he bounces back in a very, very impressive fashion come at the Australian Open. So I think for me it's a good one at this point in time for him to stay away from some of the tournament that will be coming up.
Will there be record-breaking performances at the Open? Will you see the emergence of new tennis both in male and female? We'll keep our fingers crossed and look forward to it. Now let's go to football. And talking about football reminds me that 15th of January 2025 is the kickoff date for the Nigeria Women Football League here in Nigeria. The 2024-2025 Premiership season is one where a lot is expected, given what some of the decisions taken at the Congress preceding this date. Kingsley, defending champions, the Duke Queens and Abia Angels are the two teams that will set the season in female football Premier.
Ibom Angels, they are back. For also making sure that at least the league returned almost in time from what we're saying. And this time, I think when you take a look at the way everything has been shaped, you see that the league promises to be an exciting one, and we look forward to seeing how it will go down.
It promises to be exciting. We understand the two-group format is still in play for the 2024-2025 football season in Premier League football for women here in Nigeria. In Group A, there is Edo Queens, who are the defending champions. Abia Angels are in that Group A as well. Ekiti Queens, Heartland Queens, Conference Queens, Remo Star Ladies, Nasarawa Ladies, Danas Ladies make up the teams in Group A. In Group B, Rivers Angels, Ibu Angels, Adamawa Queens, Niger Rattles, Honey Badgers and FC Robocops make up, while Bayelsa Queens, Delta Queens complete draws in that group. Kingsley.
Yeah, especially the fact that the home side, talking about Akwa United, they are struggling at the moment. I think they are at the bottom of the Nigerian Premier Football League at this point in time. The coach of the side just left, talking about Baba Ganaro, and they've actually looked forward to see how they can bring in another manager. So it's been a very, very troublesome moment, for Akwa United. And against the Heartland side, under Emmanuel Amonike, that have been a little bit rejuvenated, it's going to be a very tough one at the moment, for Akwa United. Looking at the fact that they've not really gained back their mojo, for some time now, and their manager resigning, I think a lot of psychological issue is going to be very, very difficult. But good if you think the match has been postponed